One down.
All right. Looks like Golden State.
No. The 13th pick belongs to the Indiana Pacers.
I'm gonna keep track of these old school style. Sorry if my mic sounds like crap.
Picking 12th will be the San Antonio Spurs.
It's like everything is how it's supposed to be right now.
The 11th pick in the draft will go to the Charlotte
Hornets.
All right, no surprises yet.
All right.
Still going to form so far.
Odds are, I mean, like the 9-8 action, 7 is where things have been moving up.
The New Orleans.
I'd love to see New Orleans be in there. As a Grizzlies fan, I don't want to see them get any better prospects. I like to be in craziness.
The
Sacramento Kings, okay, I like that also.
The 8th pick will be
All right, now it's watch. It's about to get good.
the Orlando Magic.
Called it.
All right, Orlando coming out of that envelope means that
Told you.
Chicago has not jumped into the top 4. Therefore, that pick conveys to Orlando as part of the Nikola Vucevic deal.
The 7th pick belongs to
Oh, I was thinking of Orlando's pick. Okay, fine.
the Golden State Warriors.
All right.
All right, that means that we have a jump. Toronto has jumped into the top.
Wow.
Have their 2 picks set in the draft order.
Pick number 6 goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
That means that Cleveland has jumped.
Cleveland again?
Into the top 4. Oklahoma City getting that pick there.
The 5th pick will be made by the Orlando Magic.
All right, the Magic with the number 5.
Wow.
That means that the Raptors, we see Fred VanVleet. There have been a difficult season for them playing down in Tampa. They could use some good news. We'll see if they get the number 1 pick. The Cleveland Cavaliers have had the number 1 pick.
Frank, you hear my guy?
Other franchise. Can they get it again tonight?
I'm here.
Find out very soon.
Can't see your face.
Good luck.
Yeah. I don't have my my phone hooked up for video. I just wanted to get on for audio real quick since it already started.
Yeah, man. I thought it was starting a little bit later. I apologize to everybody who's joining us. So I got there right as it started. We had some move ups here, man. We had it looks like Toronto and Cleveland both jumped up. So Toronto, Cleveland, Houston, and the Pistons are all in the top 4. I apologize if my mic sounds like crap. I'm using my webcam mic so we can play sound from the other stream. Otherwise, you can't hear it, and it just sucks. I'm going to go ahead and change the screen out here so we're not getting hit with any like ads or anything. So just me and a orange head for Frank.
This is my existence. I exist in an orange void now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm one with the orange void.
We didn't get any like prep before talk, but real quick before these hit back at us, of those 4 teams, who do you want to win? Of the Pistons, the Cavs, the Raptors, and the Rockets. Who would you like to get the top pick?
I mean, you gotta hope that Detroit wins it here, man. That fan base has just not been given the best by their organization over the last, really, the better part of 2 decades now. But I mean, they had success in the 2000s, but this past decade for them has just been rough. Committing to Andre Drummond long term, and not really putting anybody around him, really set that organization back. I'd like to see them win it, man. I think if they can get the number 1 pick and get Cade Cunningham here, they are well on their way to getting back into the playoff conversation.
It might be a little weird because they drafted Killian Hayes last year, who I assume they feel could be their future point. He shows a lot of skill out of France. I know that is it Kevin O'Connor who loves him.
Killian Hayes is great.
Yeah, so I mean, those 2 together could be like a really multifaceted backcourt with Bay as well. And they had another really good rookie who made the second team. Is it like Isaiah Stewart?
Something like that. But yeah,
I think that's right. So I mean, like they had a bad year, but with injuries and stuff. But I mean, like they have a couple of pretty good up and coming pieces. Being back where at least they're in the top 4, and they didn't get pushed out or whatever. So that's huge for them. Golden State got its pick and the other pick, so no move up theirs. So now they have 2 lottery picks, which I imagine they will package both of those and trade out. Do you think that there's any other teams that might trade out of their current picks?
I'd say the Warriors are easily the most likely.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
with the 7 and 14, that's you package that together and you could get something pretty good for that.
Well, I mean, with their current cap space being at like $160 million or something, I feel like they have to win now, and so it's like multiple picks. That they can move probably like Andrew Wiggins' contract and those and get back some pretty good stuff. I don't know who's going to bite on that, but with Clay coming back, I imagine that they let Oubre walk in free agency. I don't see them committing to him long term. He didn't really look good there, but Curry showed he's still a beast, and Klay Thompson can come back at like 75%, and they can add one more piece. I think that they're like really good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If they can package this together to get one more little piece to go along with Clay, Draymond, and Steph, one more good shot, it could work out.
Let's see. Let me pull up. So this was. I don't know if you can see this or not, Frank. So these were the original odds, and we see that Cleveland jumped from, it looks like 5. Actually, hold on. Before we get into all this. Looks like they're back up. Let me go ahead and turn the sound back on.
Taking shots before Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Sun Center DeAndre
Devin Booker,
playing a huge
Kobe Light,
and he just caught up with Cassidy Hubbard.
Well, we're about to reveal the top 4 teams in the draft lottery. You attended the draft lottery in Chicago back in 2018. What do you remember about your emotions that night as you were about to find out where you were going to go?
Man, once I realized that, Phoenix Suns had the #1 lottery, it was all said and done. I didn't want to work up for another team. I just wanted to be home. And, it worked out better.
How does he look 45 and 18 at the same time? So weird to me. You still there, Frank? Ooh, crap.
Hello, I'm back.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think
I changed the orange void into a slightly more appropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back into here. Let's find out who's what.
Thanks again, Rachel.
Top 4, baby.
And the 2021 NBA Draft presented by State Farm goes to
the dream.
Toronto.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, they're happy with that.
They moved up, so I mean, like
Yeah.
they still win.
Goes to
Cleveland. How are they always in
Thank
the top 3?
God. If they had been top 2, I would have been actually kind of mad.
made by
Sorry, Cavs fans.
Detroit, hey!
that the #1
And there it is, baby.
NBA Draft goes
That's what
to
I was hoping for.
Detroit
Ben
Pistons.
Wallace.
That's what that franchise and that fan base, really, that's what that
Nice,
city
man.
needs, man.
Oh shit, my bad. I meant to remove this one. There we go. Yeah, dude. Nice call on that, man. I did not. It was almost going chalk a little bit there, and they came out.
I mean, they were tied for the best percentage chance at getting it. We had kind of gotten conditioned to maybe feeling like the worst team in the league doesn't automatically get the #1 pick after the last couple drafts. But it worked out this time for the Pistons. Worst record in the league, and they get the #1 overall pick. I think this is a huge get for that franchise. I mean, obviously,
this is something that like I did want to touch on with how things lined up. Do you think that matters now in terms of who goes like 2, 3, 4? Because now it's Detroit, Houston, Cleveland, and Toronto. In my mind, I assumed it would be Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley. But do you think Houston goes after Evan Mobley here?
Yeah, I think. I don't think.
Together?
he's too good not to draft him there.
Okay.
I think it's at this point kind of Cade number 1, Evan number 2. I think the rest of the guys after them, the order's a little bit debatable. But for me personally, that top 2 is a lock. Even if it's like a fit issue with him there, they're going to find a way to make it work. Him and Christian Wood can play together if it really comes to that. And
yeah,
I mean, we talked about it in our mock draft video. Man, this guy's a freak. He's true 7-foot center, can move his feet on the perimeter, show signs of being able to develop a shot. He really has franchise center potential written all over him, and Rockets already have one of those guys, so why not load up on 2? I don't know.
Do you think that they view Kevin Porter as their next like wing there? Because he has some pretty good runs there, but do you think that's like his numbers got put up because there's nobody else there because of just all the injuries and stuff, or do you think he's actually talented enough to be like a legit 20 per game score for them?
I hate to do the a little bit of both thing here, but I think it could be a little bit of both here. What happened to him in Cleveland sucked for the guy. I mean, he just was making trouble, and then the team decided to just cut tail and run on him and ship him out. So I think the guy has plenty of talent. I mean, he got drafted for his talent, and whatever off-court issues he's been going on, I forget exactly what he was doing. I think he was found with guns in his car and some other stuff like that. Domestic issues.
Even in college, he had issues.
Yeah.
And that's why he fell to pick 28 or 29.
Right. Yeah. He fell super far.
And I was like, I wouldn't mind trying to get him because he had so much talent in college. Yeah. And then he comes out with the Cavs and he's just super immature and he's just having issues. And I don't know, at some point you hope that it all clicks. But Houston's might be a perfect spot for him because it's such it's been like a nuclear holocaust rebuild or whatever over there.
Yeah.
So
that's why I think, but the other part of it there is, there is such a void of production on that team that somebody's got to step up. And I think Porter's a talented enough individual that where he could, he averaged 30 points per game. I think in the first week he was there, he had like a 40-point game in that stretch or something. I'd have to look up exactly what he was averaging, but he had a really good run offensively when he first joined the team. Okay,
so if we're going Cade and then Evan Mobley, who would you have going to the Cavs there at 3? I mean, I love Jalen Green. There's rumors of them, I think, trading Garland maybe, that it's not working with him and Sexton. I think Jalen Green and Colin Sexton could be a lot of fun. But I don't know how they're leaning because they have Jared Allen. So I wouldn't imagine that they would take Mobley if you fell to them at 3. Maybe they trade back a little bit. Do you think that they go with Suggs there maybe, or Jonathan Kuminga? I mean, they could use a pretty good a small forward or something.
Yeah, they're pretty set on guards. They're pretty high on Sexton and Garland as they should be. So Jalen Suggs there, he's 6'5" point guard. He's big time talent out of Gonzaga.
Yeah,
I think they could find a way to make that work, but
I fully know that I'm alone on the Cade Cunningham's not that good train. But I would rather have Suggs, Mobley, Jalen Green, and then I have Cade 4th. But that's just me. I mean, that's just personal taste.
Cade's size is what's got him just so clear above everybody else. He's a 6'8" point guard with true point guard skills, and that's pretty special.
But he did average more turnovers and assists this year, and he couldn't beat most of the athletic guards off the dribble. I don't know. I guess with him, you're betting that his skill supersedes everything else, almost like a Luka. But to be fair, Luka was playing pro ball at the age of 14, so he's already learned a lot of the tricks of the trade in terms of how to adapt and be good. I just don't know if Cade's gonna be as good out of the gate.
Yeah, I like Cade. I think he's a good number 1 pick here. I would feel comfortable with any of these teams taking him number 1. I think Detroit should take him number 1 for sure. But back on Cleveland, I think Jalen Green would be a solid pick there at number 3. I really do. He's, one of the best offensive talents in the G League this past year. Hit 37% on threes. that season or this past season.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of all over the court type offensive game. He can drive, he can pass a little bit, shoot. So number 3 here, I'd feel pretty comfortable taking Jalen Green.
You don't have to have me buy stock. I mean, like I'm already like full up on him. Like he's awesome, man.
Yeah.
At one point in time, when the Grizzlies were not doing so well, I fully thought that we would go after Jalen Green because John Morant and Jalen Green are actually really close friends off the court as well. Ja helped Green grow his game and everything, whatever. And so they're like crazy close. And I was hoping that he would be our future, two, because him and Ja together would be explosive fun every single night with Jaren as well. But it is what it is. Do you think that there's a chance anybody trades up for any of these guys? And if so, who would you target if you were a GM?
That's a good question. You kind of saw it on the Magic's. I don't know who that was representing them, but I think the Magic kind of got the short end of the deal here.
So they had pick 8 and pick 5. So I wonder if 8 and 5 to Cleveland is enough to move up for 3, you think?
And that's why I think, 8 and 5, it's like, that's a good haul. You get two top 10 lottery picks in the same year. But after the season the Magic had, they were hoping for, probably a top 3 pick there. But
I mean, it was like that. Plus they sold off all their pieces, hoping to be bad enough to,
Right. Yeah. They did the full on tankathon. Yeah. Which is, and I hate to say that it's a pattern because, the lottery is random, but it really does seem like the teams that have really been trying to actively tank are not getting rewarded with the picks. It's the teams that are bad despite trying to win that seem to be getting the picks right now. But that's some conspiracy stuff. I don't think that's it's the lottery. It's random. But
yeah, man.
It just goes to show that tanking isn't the remedy for all ills in a bad franchise. You don't tank and then just get better,
In the last 3 years, I mean, the worst team hasn't won, and there's been teams that are actually moved up. Like I think, hold on, let me see real quick.
The Pelicans were supposed to be 6th, and they jumped all the way to number 1.
The Grizzlies were 8th. This is the original numbers here. So Houston fell to 1, Orlando fell to 5. This Oklahoma City pick fell to Golden State, basically. Golden State, Indiana, San Antonio, Charlotte. Yeah, so I mean, I'm telling you, man, right around in that 7-6 range is just perfect for teams to try to move up because now all the odds have been flattened out. I think it's trying to curtail people to not suck anymore.
Yeah, they'll be happy about that, man.
All right. So do you think that this affects anybody's draft stock? Do you think that anybody falls here?
Just based off the lottery, no. I don't think this draft's so loaded with talent, man. I don't think there's anybody that's going to fall based off fit. I don't think any of these teams in the top 5 are looking at Jonathan Kuminga thinking, we've got too many small forwards. Let's not draft Jonathan Kuminga. These guys are also talented. I don't think they're going to slip based off that.
Do you agree with everybody that this is a 4-man draft and not a 5-man draft? Because I view Jonathan Kuminga as a could-be star. He already has his body's already built right. His game's a little raw, but he's got playmaking, rebounding, defense. He's crazy athletic. His shot's not broken. But people think that he's on that next tier while Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, and Jalen Suggs are tier 1.
I could maybe get behind that Kuminga isn't quite on the same level as those other guys, but he's still, he's right outside that if you want to say that. He's tremendously talented. He had a great year in the G League. But he's got to one thing that's really a big hole in his game right now. He only hit 24, close to 25% of his threes, and as a 6'8" small forward in the NBA, you got to do better than that.
That's fair.
He ended up averaging. I think he averaged about 17 or 18. I'd have to look that up. It was in the mid-teens, but he's kind of being looked at as I don't know, Wiggins type guy, where he's got the length and the size and he's got the
Wiggins
raw
was like
talent.
really, really dumb. I mean, I wouldn't say dominant in college, but like, you know, he was like really explosive and his shot looked okay there. I tell you, man, like if I'm taking a dude who's built on like defense, I would go Scotty Barnes in like the top 10. You know, he's got amazing size. He can actually switch 1 through 5 almost. He has an awesome motor. It's just, you know, is his offense ever going to come along? I think that's like his biggest obvious issue. I think it fully depends on where he lands on how his career is going to go.
Yeah, that's another one. He's got to develop that deep shot to really have a long career in the NBA. The 6'9" playmaking ability, that's special. That's going to get him in the top.
Could you imagine
based off that? So
the Thunder taking Barnes at like 7 or whatever it is, or 6 or whatever. I mean, like, and then it's Dort and Shai Gilgeous and Scotty Barnes, just like full length. They're 1, 2, and 3 are all like just like 6'7", all arms. Oh my God, it would be hell to play them. It would be awful, man. I don't know. It just like, I just hope that like a lot of these teams don't draft well. I mean, like I don't want New Orleans getting more top end talent. Like to me as a Grizzlies fan, I like hearing about the Pelicans having issues with Zion and stuff. And the Mavericks having like issues with like Luka not liking Porzingis and the GM and Carlisle didn't like him and stuff. Whatever. Like,
we're the only team in the Southwest Division without any drama right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like I text about this. If like Quinn Snyder, Budenholzer, and Rick Carlisle are all available, do you fire Taylor Jenkins to hire one of those 3?
No. Taylor Jenkins is a part of this franchise moving forward, in my opinion. That's not to say that I think Taylor Jenkins is a better coach than any of those guys. I think hands down, obviously, they're all better coaches.
They are, yeah.
To this point. But for all the signs are showing that Kleiman and Jenkins are very close in working in like the way this roster has been constructed, the way that the players are put together in terms of roster creation and rotations. I think a lot of back and forth between those guys went on throughout the season and in the off season. I mean, I've heard that Jenkins and him went on road trips 2 years ago to scout for prospects for the draft leading up to picking Ja. So it's like, yes, I'd like to see a little bit more out of Jenkins as a head coach. I think he's done an admirable job in his first 2 years. But at the same time, I think the franchise has kind of bought into him like they bought in on the young players. And I think they're going to let that ride out for a while, at least for the first contract, or until he does something that warrants being fired or replaced.
I am going to strangely agree with you. As much as I would love to have Rick Carlisle or Quinn Snyder here, just because another coach knows more does not mean that they're the right coach for that team. I think that Taylor Jenkins also being like, I think it's like 36 or 37, him being younger, I kind of think plays to his advantage with having such a young team because, because I mean, imagine like Rick Carlisle, who's like 60 coming in trying to coach like guys who are like 22, 23, like, he's going to have no clue how they are now socially and stuff. And maybe that's why him and like Luka are like having issues. So I think that Jenkins has their ear still in the locker room. I think that there's a lot of good respect going on. And I hope his X's and O's can catch up to his ability to have a really good player rapport, I guess, and everything.
Yeah, that does seem to be his strength. I mean, you heard stories when he first got to the team that he would hold kickball practices where they didn't do any basketball. You know, they didn't practice basketball. They just went out and had team outings playing kickball, which, that's...
To speak on that, actually, like, Gorgui Dieng's like second day here, they actually were coming off like a back-to-back, and they didn't practice. They played kickball. Like, and Dieng was like, dude, I've been in this league for 8 years. We've never done anything like this. And he was saying that like that like it was great, and like he had never played kickball before or whatever, and that like that like immediately he felt like he was part of the team. So it's weird because I want to add more to this team, obviously, or whatever, but messing up with the chemistry is also a thing, but we have to get better because I don't think internally there is enough right pieces here. Do you think any of the good prospects fall to the Grizzlies at 17?
I'm just hoping for my boy Franz Wagner, bro. No.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing any of these big names falling to us at 17. I think guys like Corey Kispert, maybe James Bouknight, Moses Moody, Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
Maybe those guys would be available around then. That's, that it's a very good chance their names will be off the board by the time it gets to us. But, this is a great position to be in as for the Grizzlies. The 17th pick isn't a home run by any means, but
it's not.
We made the playoffs. We had our run there. So this is what we get in exchange. We don't make the lottery, but I think, again, this is one of the most loaded drafts that in recent memory. And I think if there was ever a good year to be 17, it's this year. I think there's definitely a good chance we'd have a prospect fall to us that could really crack the rotation and play some good minutes for us. Right. I don't know about this season, but, just as a prospect.
So this is draft.net, which they're not usually that accurate or whatever, but, it is what it is. I think everybody's 5 is these guys. I don't know the exact order at this point, but I feel like it's these guys. I don't expect Golden State to have this pick, but I also don't think James Bouknight goes as high. I do think that Moses Moody goes as high. Keon Johnson has also really been impressing people. I'm hearing that he's going to go top 10. Dude, I'm shocked that Davion Mitchell. I mean, like his play in the tournament shows you that if you play well, people will just skyrocket you, because we did our mock draft a month and a half ago.
He wasn't even in it.
I had him pick 30, I think, or
yeah.
It was way down or whatever to the Jazz. Which at this point, I think the Jazz would love to get Davion Mitchell if he fell this far.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. He's actually he showed so much in the tournament run that they had that he is now in the top 5 of a lot of analysts' prospects rankings. It's crazy.
Yeah. I would love for Kai Jones to fall here to us a little bit. I expect Josh Gerster to probably go in the 20s here. I don't know, man. I'm not a Josh Giddey guy. I don't like slow white dudes. Franz Wagner has enough to his game defensively that I don't dislike taking him, and his shot's okay. I just think he's a really safe role player. I don't see any upside as a star with him. If Kai Jones falls to us, I would be over the moon for that. That would be amazing.
You got to take Kai Jones if he falls to you.
Yeah, I just don't think he is. But I do think that a guy like Kispert, Zaire, Franz Wagner, Christopher, Jaden Springer, I feel that these 8 will be here. I don't expect any of these top 12 guys to probably fall. Maybe Jalen Johnson doesn't have a few good workouts, but it is what it is. See here, remove this. There we go. I'm going to change my sound back on to the not crappy sound, because I'm sure that webcam sounds like ass. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it better or worse?
It does sound better, yeah.
Okay, good. So the draft lottery is done. We know that Detroit, Houston, Cleveland, Toronto are the top 4, with Orlando being the 5th pick. I expect a lot of movement. And the fact that they can do trades now is going to be crazy. I fully expect trades to be going on and stuff. It's going to be super exciting. I love the draft. It's like my Christmas. We're doing another big mock draft in a couple of weeks. Me, Frank, and Chip. Frank's face will actually be here. We're gonna have team specific for ourselves, and we're gonna have our entire boards and stuff. It's gonna be both rounds, super long, super great. If you like draft stuff, please come back and check it out for us. Is there anything else from this draft lottery that you would like to talk about before we get out of here, man?
I'm just excited to see how this all shakes out, man. I agree. I think there could be a lot of movement in the top 10 there, maybe even in the top 20. There's a lot of talent going down that far. So there's a lot of teams that want to make moves to get some of that talent. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to see how it shakes out. The draft will be fun.
It would be crazy for Toronto to get Jalen Suggs.
That would be huge for them.
I mean, that would be huge because they moved up from was this 4, 5, 6 from 7. So they weren't supposed to get any of these tier 1 guys, and to pair Suggs with Fred VanVleet with Pascal Siakam is a pretty damn good 3 to have.
I mean, it'd basically just be you could just have Kyle Lowry just hand him the keys to the franchise, basically. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the assumption is that Kyle Lowry's done with the Raptors. Right. So this would be like it's almost like Conley leaving, like a John Morant coming in. Right. So this would be like perfect for them to just add up their next guy here. So that's really cool. And then Orlando. What's kind of funny is that I figured that they would take Jonathan Kuminga anyways, and I think the Thunder are the first real wild card if they keep this pick, which I don't know why they wouldn't, unless they just really want to like trade down a little bit or something. But
I could see them if the right name comes along and a trade offer for them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is getting good really fast, really fast, and he's kind of advancing past their current timeline. And at some point, they've got to make the decision whether or not they want to actually put real talent around him. Shout out Lou Dort, who is a real talent, but like a big name that's going to get them up into the playoffs, make a run.
Yeah.
And, this pick, it's an enticing pick, man. If the right name comes along.
If it was me, I would take like Moses Moody there, I think. Adding because he's only 19. He's a damn good 3-and-D guy, whatever. Putting like a professional 3-and-D guy for the next 10 years next to like Shai Gilgeous and Dort, would be awesome, I think. He's super safe. And you he can score and play defense. So he's not as good on defense as Barnes or anything, but he's got pretty good size. He's like 6'6" or 6'7" or whatever, So that's what I would do at this point. I don't know what they'll do, but I do think it just makes too much sense for the Warriors not to trade out here.
Yeah, if there's a deal that's going to get done, you could almost guess, I'll almost guarantee that the Warriors are going to move on from these picks. There's just, after taking James Wiseman last year with the number 2 pick and seeing how that went, it's really, where is this franchise, man? When Klay comes back, are they contenders again? Are they still in like kind of a weird rebuild? I don't know, but
it's weird because Curry's like too good for them not to suck.
Right, they're not in a full rebuild because they've got an MVP.
But adding Klay to that team, I feel that they're like a 6 seed probably or something. So I think that they have to swing a little bit here and package those and probably Wiggins to get like if they could somehow pull off a trade to get like Dame Lillard, or it's just like Lillard, Curry, Klay Thompson would be like. The like triplets out there, it would be insane. But like I don't know, I feel as though they're like one big move away from being right back in like real contention here. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I'm sorry it started so late. I thought we had more time. I just messed it all up, but I promise to on future live stuff to not mess it up as much. Frank, any last words?
Let's go, Grizz! I can't wait for the draft, man.
I'm super excited. One more month. And also we'll be breaking down summer league games probably because like I love all that. I won't be doing like overhyped summer where we watch players and then just think that they're like all stars or whatever.
You're gonna be
like
MVPs.
He's averaging 35 a game. It's like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. All right, guys, thank you so much. Until next time.